sneakerheads and basketball enthusiasts alike. This is the only land, and we are here for a performance review. Finally, super late in this performance review. Do me a favor before I get into these shoes. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you like what you've seen before, and if you like what you see today. These are the KD14s, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I unboxed these 6 months ago. I looked it up just a second ago. 6 months ago is when I first unboxed these. 6 months ago was sometime around March, and that's sometime around where I had ACL surgery. So that's why you haven't gotten these yet, but they are here, and the performance review has actually been done for like, I'd say over a month now. I just never came down and filmed it. I've been telling you guys that I was gonna get you guys a performance review for about a month and a half now. But here it is, and let's get into it. Starting with the traction, and that's not really what I wanted to start with, but it's hit or miss. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first started playing with it, I'd say like, and I always do 24 hours if you guys don't know. For like the first 12, almost like the first 18 hours, it felt great. There was like a day here where it didn't work well, or a day here where it didn't work well, but for the most part, I was like, man, this traction is great. These sneakers overall are great. I'm loving everything that's going on in here. And then it started to get hot. Now when it gets hot, people get sweaty. When people sweat gets on the floor. And once these things touch the sweat, you were wiping, man. You were wiping. And usually, people sweat all the time, right? You play basketball, you're gonna sweat. In any sneaker, you wipe it off and you're good. It was like, these touched sweat and there was no playing in them. None. You had to wipe every other play the second they touched a little bit of sweat, and it was like that for the rest of the day. I don't know why. This is the second pair. I think this is the second pair of sneakers recently that I reviewed. I don't remember what the other one is, that as soon as it got wet, I think it was the Zions, that as soon as it got wet, it was like, which one was it? Nah, I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but like as soon as it got wet, it couldn't stick to the floor. It was insane. I don't understand why it's like that. And to be honest, when a shoe, and the traction is so important in the shoe, that when the traction just doesn't work, it really, I don't want to say it makes the shoe pointless, but it kind of does. And to be honest, these shoes were really high for me. Before that stuff started happening, the shoes were really high for me on the list of possibly best shoe of 2020. And they still might be pretty much up there because I haven't looked at the list, or I haven't made the list recently. But the traction kind of killed it for me. But it'll be nothing compared to the KD5s, which was the worst traction I ever used in my entire life. So, but moving on. For cushioning, they got rid of the double stack zoom that they had in the forefoot here, and the year before that in the KD12 they had the double stack zoom in the heel, and now they just had the zoom air strobel in midsole of Cushlon, and God, was this thing very comfortable. What was the exact words that I used in this? Because I write, after I play in them, I write how it felt down. Or I write how it felt down. Plushier. Airbag is plushier was what this thing says. These are really comfortable. I cannot deny to you. Zoom Air Strobel, I've said it, it's top three cushioning I've ever used. Zoom Air Strobel. A lock zoom is up there, and there's like, I think one other that's like up there in like the top echelon of cushioning that I've ever used. Me personally, this is my own personal use. I still think that the KD12 had it mastered. I really don't know what it was. I'm not gonna lie to you, because this is if you think about it, it's the same thing. But the KD12 for me, I put those sneakers on, and I'm sorry, every time I do a performance review for KDs now, I'm gonna have to go back to to that because for me that was a perfect sneaker. To me, it was and still is one of my favorite sneakers to play basketball in all time. And I think the KD12 did get it perfectly, but there are people who really love this setup better than that, and that's okay. For me, it's not, but it was better than the 13s for me. I'd have them ranked 12, 14, 13 in that order, but it's neither here nor there. So for the upper on these, to be quite honest, I really liked it. I really liked it, and I always compare when I do these reviews to the last one. Compared to the last one, it felt a little bit more comfortable because it felt a lot less stiff than what I had with the 13s. That material there was just very cheap to me. Not that this is like this great material, but it just felt like I could move around a little bit better with a little less restriction than what I had there, without feeling like I was going to hurt myself, to be honest. It was comfortable. The whole shoe was very comfortable. The straps, man. Listen, don't you ever look at don't look at a shoe that has a strap and think to yourself, man, this thing is going to really lock me down, because to be honest, it's not going to do anything. 90% of the time that you see one of these straps on here, it's not going to do anything unless it's a strap that has a loop and it comes back over, and then even then, it's not going to go far enough, right? When it comes back over, it doesn't have a strap. It doesn't have like the stick-on material that's going to come all the way down to the bottom here. So it's never going to, if you like it really tight like I do, it's never going to come all the way back over and wrap tight enough. I've only had one sneaker where I felt like it did that. I don't remember what the name is. If I can find them, I'll put them up here. Besides that, I've never had a sneaker that has a snap that's actually functional or that works. I will say that you did feel it when you put it on and you wrapped it. You did feel it, but it was just like a feeling there. It wasn't something that you knew like, hey, this is really keeping me in there. This is really containing my foot. It was the laces. The laces did a great job, and I don't usually talk about laces doing something great. Usually when I mention laces, it's, hey, these laces sucked. They were digging my feet. They wouldn't contain my foot tight enough, but the laces did a great job. Containment on this is great. It just happened that it was nothing to do with the strap. The tongue on this was not super plushy, that it was anything crazy, but it did the job. The whole sneaker really just does the job besides what the traction was. And I hate to come on here and just say it like that, because these are not average sneakers. I have tested average sneakers. The Zions, wherever they are behind me, were just average sneakers. The Giannis 1 and 2s were average sneakers to me. These are definitely above average. It's just, to me, nothing special. The categories I put sneakers in, the categories that I put sneakers in are just like upper echelon, some of the greatest sneakers I've ever used, above average, and just like average, and then obviously absolutely terrible. And I haven't really played in too many absolutely terrible sneakers, so these are above average. Just they're not the greatest sneakers I've ever used. But that's pretty much it for the KD14s. Oh, I did play in these outside, to mention before I get done with this. I did play in these outside, and the traction outside was absolutely amazing. And by outside, I mean even courts with like the paint. If you've ever played outside, you know the paint areas on like the 3-point line and things like that. Always the slipperiest spots on there. You're always liable to get hurt. And these were pretty great when it came to all of that. The paint and all of that outside. It did pretty well. And as much as I thought it would weigh down, it didn't. I don't think I played too much in them outside, but this traction held up pretty well. I cannot deny it held up pretty damn well. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Do me a favor, hit the like button. If you like what you've seen, hit the subscribe button. I will try to get these performance reviews out a little bit faster now that I am pretty much healed all the way, to be honest. But like I said, this is the only lane, and I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one.